Good morning, dear children. Let us move to the next lesson, physical and chemical change. Physical and chemical change. I think all of you are familiar with the term change. Okay, the term change. Change occur around us all the time. In your day-to-day life also, you are familiar with a wide variety of changes. Can you say the examples of changes that occur around us? Here are some few examples. Okay, here milk turns sour, that is a change. The next, seeds germinate, germination of seeds, again it is a change. Then weather changes. The next, water evaporates, evaporation of water, also melting of ice. Then fruits ripen. These are some examples for changes that occur around us. Milk turns sour, then seeds germinate, then weather changes, then water evaporates and fruits ripen. These are the few examples of changes that occur around us. Actually here the change may be either physical or chemical. Okay, the change may be either physical or chemical. So we can classify the change as two, physical change and chemical change. Okay, the changes can be classified as two, physical change and chemical change. Let us talk about physical change. Okay, first we can see what is physical change. And here, when a substance undergoes physical change, it does not give a different kind of substance. Okay, when a substance undergoes a physical change, it does not give rise to a different kind of substance. Okay, we can consider an example. When we heat sugar, okay, on a gentle fire, only to melt it, its composition does not change. Okay, its composition does not change. The melted sugar has the same taste and it is soluble in water just like sugar. So here we can say the melting of sugar, actually it is a physical change. The melting of sugar is a physical change. Also when we heat water, what happens? It evaporates. Okay, here only the temperature changes. The properties of water that remains the same. Okay, when we heat water, only the temperature changes, the properties of water that remains the same. So it can be considered as a physical change. Also when we heat sugar, the melting of sugar, okay, it melts. Then it has the same composition, that means it has the same taste. And also it is soluble in water, just like ordinary sugar. So the melting of sugar in a gentle fire, that can be considered as a physical change. Okay, isn't it? And here, when a substance undergoes a physical change, it does not give rise to a different kind of substance. It does not give rise to a different kind of substance. Okay, that is when we heat water, we does not get a different kind of substance. Both have the same composition. Okay, that is the physical change. And also, this physical change affects one or more of its physical properties. Okay, the physical change affects one or more of its physical properties. Physical properties means size, then shape, then color and also state. Okay, either of this actually changes when a physical change occurs. Suppose when we consider the melting of ice, you know, ice is a solid one and when it melts, it becomes water, it is a liquid. So here the state changes. Okay, as a result of physical change, either the state may change. Okay, the state of substance may change. And also suppose if we cut a paper into small pieces, actually it is a physical change because the size of the paper changes. The size of the paper changes. Okay, also when we stretch a rubber band, it is also a change. Its size and shape changes. Okay, and in some physical changes, what will happen? The color also gets changed. Okay, so we can say when the physical change that affects one or more physical properties like state, then size, shape and color. Is it clear for you? And also most of the physical changes are reversible change. Most of the physical changes are reversible. Reversible means what? We can get the original state. We can get the original state. Okay, that is actually the reversible change. Okay, suppose when we consider the melting of ice. Okay, ice melts to water. It again water. Okay, then water then evaporates. We will get the gaseous form. Okay, when we cools the water vapors, we will get again water. Okay, then when water freezes, we get ice. So we got the initial stage, ice. Okay, so most of the physical changes are reversible changes. Most of the physical changes are reversible changes. Okay, so we can say when a substance undergoes a physical change, it does not give rise to a different kind of substance. When a substance undergoes a physical change, it does not give rise to a different kind of substance. And the second is the physical change affects one or more of its physical properties. Okay, physical change affects one or more of its physical properties of matter like stage, size, shape and color. The next, most of the physical changes are reversible process. Most of the physical process are reversible process. That is about the physical change. Next, about chemical change. The second type of change is actually the chemical change. Here, when a substance undergoes a chemical change, it forms one or more new substances. Okay, when a substance undergoes a chemical change, it forms one or more new substances. When we consider the example of melting of sugar, okay, we know melting of sugar is actually a physical change. Suppose when we continue heating the melted sugar, actually it gets converted into, and also it burns and gets converted into a black colored substance. Okay, the melting of sugar is actually a physical change. Suppose when we heat continuously, what will happen? It gets burned. The melted sugar gets burned and it gets converted into a new substance or black colored new substance. Okay, and the black colored new substance does not have the composition of what? Sugar. That means it does not have a sweet taste and also it does not melt on heating. So we got a different kind of substance. Okay, thus by the heating of sugar we got a substance, a black colored substance. Actually that is carbon. That black colored substance is actually carbon. Okay, from this we can say as a result of chemical change we got a different kind of substance, that is here it is carbon. So the heating of melted sugar, that is considered as a chemical change. That is considered as a chemical change. Okay, so when a substance undergoes a chemical change, it does not form, it forms one or more new substances. When a substance undergoes a chemical change, it forms one or more new substances. That is actually the chemical change. Also here the chemical change is a irreversible process. The process of chemical change is a irreversible process because actually here we cannot reach the original form. Okay, from the black colored carbon we cannot get the sugar again. So it is a irreversible process. Chemical change is a irreversible process. Okay, here the what is chemical change? When a substance undergoes chemical change, it forms one or more different kind of substances. And also chemical change is a irreversible process. Chemical change is a irreversible process. Let's see more examples for chemical change. First one, actually cooking of food. Cooking of food, then ripening of fruits, then souring of milk, then lighting of matchstick, then aging of leaves, then digestion of food. These are few examples for chemical change. And here all this process involves, actually all these processes are actually complex process, and each that involves a variety of chemical changes. Okay, it's more examples for chemical changes: cooking of food, then ripening of fruits, then souring of milk, then lighting of matchstick, then aging of leaves, then digestion of food. These are examples for chemical change. Let's see the difference between physical change and chemical change. Okay, difference between physical changes and chemical change. The first is physical change is a reversible process. Physical change is a reversible process, and chemical change is a irreversible process. Chemical change is an irreversible process. And in second is, in the case of physical changes, no new substances are formed. In the case of physical changes, no new substances are formed. But in the case of chemical changes, one or more new substances are formed. In the case of chemical changes, one or more new substances are formed. And here, in the case of physical change, the substance retains its chemical properties. The substance retains its chemical properties. That means the chemical properties does not change. But in the case of chemical change, new substance formed have different properties from the original substance. Okay, the new substance formed have different properties from the original substance. Okay, we can distinguish physical change and chemical changes. Physical change is a reversible process and chemical change is an irreversible process. And here in physical change, no new substances are formed. No new substances are formed, and in the case of chemical change, one or more new substances are formed. And here, in the case of physical change, the substance retains its original properties. But in the case of chemical change, the new substances formed have different properties from the original substance. Okay, that is the difference between physical change and chemical change. The next, change involves energy. Change involves energy. Okay, how the energy involves when a change occurs. Okay, that is the importance of energy when changes occur. That thing we are going to discuss. Okay, let us consider an example. We can consider the melting of ice. You know how the melting of ice occurs. And here, actually, when we heat, that time only the melting of ice happens. Okay, that is the melting of ice that requires heat. That requires water, heat. And here it is actually the melting of ice is a change. And here the heat means, heat is a form of energy. Heat is a form of energy. Here, so during the melting of ice, the involvement of heat energy is there. Okay, the involvement of heat energy is there. And some changes that require heat, and some other changes, that means due to some changes, heat is produced. Okay, that means in order to occur some changes, energy is needed. And as a result of some changes, energy is produced. Okay, here the melting of ice that requires heat. Okay, and when we consider when water is added to lime, here also change occurs and heat is produced. Here also change occurs and heat is produced when water is added to lime. Okay, also we can consider another example when we burn fuels. Okay, the burning of fuels. Burning of fuels, actually heat and light is produced. By burning fuels, we will get what are the energies we got here. Heat energy and light energy. Heat and light energy. Heat energy and light energy are two different forms of energy. Okay, so by the burning of fuels, we got two different forms of energy. that is light energy and heat energy. Light energy and heat energy. Okay, anyway, when a change occurs, actually there is the involvement of energy is there. Neither energy is absorbed nor energy, in some cases energy is released. So we can say whenever a change is there, there is the involvement of energy. Whenever a change is there, there is the involvement of energy. Okay. And also the chemical changes occurs when the chemicals react with each other. Okay, when chemical changes occur due to the reaction with the chemicals. So the chemical changes are otherwise called a chemical reaction. Chemical changes are otherwise called a chemical reaction. Okay, the chemical changes occur when chemicals react with each other. Chemical changes occur when chemicals react with each other. So chemical changes are otherwise called a chemical reaction. So as a result of chemical reaction, a new chemical is formed or one or more new substances are formed. Okay, they have the different properties as that of original substance. As a result of chemical reaction, we got different chemical substances. They have entirely different properties as that of the original one. Okay, that is about actually the chemical reaction. Okay, chemical changes occurs when the chemicals react with each other. So the chemical process are called chemical reaction. Okay, that is about the involvement of energy in changes and also about the chemical reaction. The next, what are the evidences of a chemical reaction? Evidences of a chemical reaction. Then how we can know a chemical reaction happened or not? Okay, whether a chemical reaction happened or not. That thing, for that we have certain evidences there. Okay, then how we can detect a chemical reaction? Okay, the first is a production of gas. The first evidence of a chemical reaction is actually the production of gas. Okay, here we have an example. When we take a half spoon of baking powder in a glass container, we have to first take a half spoon of baking powder in a glass container. Then add a teaspoon of lemon juice to it. Okay, take a half spoon of baking powder in a glass container and add a teaspoon of lemon juice to it. Okay, and here the baking powder and lemon juice are two different kinds of chemicals. Here the baking powder and lemon juice are two different kinds of chemicals and they react with each other. Here they react with each other and we can see the bubbles are formed. We can see what the bubbles are formed. Actually here the bubbles are due to the formation of carbon dioxide gas. Okay, the bubbles are formed due to the formation of what? Carbon dioxide. Okay, along with the carbon dioxide, new other substances are also formed. So here the production of carbon dioxide gas is an example for what or is an evidence for a chemical reaction. Okay, the first evidence of a chemical reaction is the production of gas. Then we have to take a half spoon of baking powder in a glass container and then add a spoon of lemon juice to it and they react with each other and the bubbles are, we can observe the bubbles and here the bubbles are formed due to the formation of carbon dioxide gas. So the production of gas is the evidence for the chemical reaction. Next is the formation of precipitate. Okay, the next evidence of a chemical reaction is the formation of precipitate. Here also we have an example. Actually the solution of potassium iodide and lead nitrate. The solution of potassium iodide and lead nitrate. Actually they are colorless. Okay, the solution of potassium iodide and lead nitrate. Actually they are colorless. And when they mix each other, chemical reaction happening and as a result one of the substance formed is actually the colored form. Okay, that is one of the substance formed when the potassium iodide that reacts with the lead nitrate, that is actually colored in form. Actually that will separates out as solid and settles at the bottom of the container. Okay, actually that solid substance left after a chemical reaction, that is called a precipitate. That is called a precipitate. The solid substance left after a chemical reaction is actually called the precipitate. Okay, and here the colored substance that actually precipitates, that is called the precipitate. Okay, so here the formation of this precipitate, it is taken as the evidence of the chemical reaction. The formation of this precipitate is taken as the evidence of this chemical reaction. Okay, so the second evidence of chemical reaction is actually the formation of precipitate. When potassium iodide that reacts with the lead nitrate, what happening? A colored precipitate is actually formed. Actually these two, potassium iodide and lead nitrate, are actually colorless solutions. When they react with each other, we got a colored precipitate, and that colored precipitate is the evidence of this chemical reaction. So the formation of precipitate can be taken as the evidence of a chemical reaction. The next evidence of chemical reaction is actually the change in energy. Change in energy. You know, almost all chemical reactions involves energy change. Almost all chemical reactions involves a energy change. Some of the chemical change actually require energy, and some of the chemical change, due to some chemical changes, energy is released. Okay, you know, the burning of fuel, that is an example for a chemical change. Burning of fuel is an example for chemical change. Okay, and some chemical reactions need energy, and due to some chemical reaction, energy is released. Okay, burning of fuel is taken as an example for what? Chemical change. See, suppose when we burn wood, we got heat energy. Okay, your heat is a form of energy. Apart from heat energy, here light energy is also produced. Okay, so the burning of fuels, or when we burn wood, we got two different forms of energy, that is light energy and heat energy. Okay, we can consider another example. You know, the burning of crackers, firecrackers. Burning of firecrackers. Actually, here we got three different forms of energy. You know what are the three different forms of energy produced with the burning of firecrackers? You know, okay, heat energy, light energy, and sound energy. Heat energy, light energy, and sound energy. So here the change in energy that can be taken as the evidence of chemical reaction. So the third evidence of chemical reaction is the energy change. The next is change in color. The next evidence is actually change in color. Actually, the change in color is not always noticeable in a chemical reaction. Okay, suppose when two colorless liquids react with each other, we can get a new colorless solution. Okay, so actually, so we cannot consider this change of color as a evidence of a chemical reaction in all cases. In some cases, we can consider the change of color as an evidence for chemical reaction, but in some other cases, we cannot consider this change in color as the evidence of a chemical reaction. Because when two, for example, when two colorless liquids react with each other, we got actually a colorless another liquid. Actually, here the chemical reaction took place, but the color does not change. So actually, so we can say the change is always not noticeable during a chemical reaction. Okay, then we can see what are the evidences of a chemical reaction. First is the production of gas, then the formation of precipitate, then the change in energy and change in color. Okay, next we can see the signs of chemical reaction. Okay, we can see the signs of chemical reaction. First one, as a result of chemical reaction, new substances are formed. New substances are formed. Then we can see a gas may be formed and with a distinct smell. Okay, gas may be formed and also distinct smell. And third is there may be a color change as a result of chemical reaction, and there may be the formation of precipitate. Then fifth is heat may be given off or absorbed during a chemical reaction. The sound may be produced. The last is some chemical reaction produce electric current. Some chemical reaction produce electric current. Okay, the first is as a result of chemical reaction, new substances are formed. And the second is a gas may be formed and distinct smell. Then there may be a change in color. Then as a result of chemical reaction, a precipitate may be formed. Then heat may be given off or absorbed. Then sound may be produced. Last, due to some chemical reaction, electric current is produced. These are the signs of chemical reaction. Okay children, we can summarize the things that we have learned today. Okay, first we learned about physical change and chemical change. What is meant by physical change? When a substance undergoes a physical change, there is it does not give rise to a different kind of substance. But as a result of chemical change, a new substance is formed. Okay, physical change is an reversible process, and chemical change is a irreversible process. Okay, the next we have learned the difference between physical and chemical change, and also the involvement of energy in changes. And also we have learned the evidences of chemical reaction or evidences of chemical process. Okay, first is the formation of gas, second is the formation of precipitate, then third is the energy change, and last is the change in color. Okay, that is the end of today's class. Thank you children.